Ducati, arrive to catch the future and make it run with us. Additional beauty, the desire to explore success.
Buonasera. It's with pride that we start this event in which we launch all new models of the work done in Borgo Panigale. I want to thank all the partners. We have 120 dealers here from Asia Pacific last year during the live streaming of this event. So I want to thank all the people that are connecting and to say thank you. Translation in Italian, we are translation in German, we are translation in Chinese and Japanese. So we have many friends around the world. This year has been very important for us. It's been a very important year for Ducati because it was our 90th birthday. To celebrate this important birthday, kind of rebuilding and making a completely new refurbishing of our new museum. So we made the history of Ducati and all the most important moments that make this brand so special. We sold something like 55,000 motorcycles. The data we see on my back are the result year to date. So as of today, of this year compared to all the year before. And as we see, even if this year was a more important and difficult because we had bikes like the Multistrada Enduro or the XDR that are important and expensive. So a good year on commercial result, but a good year also in terms of price we got on product. The XDR, that was a kind of, we enter into a segment, which is the cruiser segment, which is not specific for our brand, was very successful. Like I've received from the expert. Was a year in which we entered, also was no better way to kind of make a statement on this 90th year on Facebook, on the social media, in order to testimony exactly the dynamic and all the image and all the emotion of this globetrotting. And so organizing the Ducati World Premiere this evening, a group of friends decided to organize a very special Sunday. And actually was thank for all the support, an incredible result. Actually, Ducati last Sunday was the most successful manufacturer in racing, winning at the European World Championship. Very nice, you know, because organizing this event exactly the Sunday before the event and the streaming was actually perfect. So let's start with, actually we didn't get the big prize, which is winning the championship. This is the reason why we are racing, but have to be, what is your sensation? What you feel when you're riding your bike that actually make us really very, very, actually you have been able to stay in a row and to win 6 races. What do you feel?
Panigale this year has been a pleasure to ride and just all the time dancing on the limit. That's how I explain it and that's how I feel, you know, with this bike and these last 6 races. So it's been a fantastic season. As you said, we missed the big prize, but I'm very proud of what we achieved, especially the last part of the season, and I can only look forward to the future.
Okay, tell our friends home that actually sliding the bike into the corner like that is a kind of take care. Your morning was kind of very special because we are together next year. Yeah. That's very important. You decided really important. To believe in the project again, and that's make a big difference for us. And actually, I took charge of the big company exactly in that year. So for me, it was also a moment difficult, and we had many kind of tasks to solve. One interview of you saying that you were crying at the last lap, and actually the sensation of riding a MotoGP while crying should be quite crazy.
Ride smooth and crying is something really special, and the emotion at that time, it was amazing, unbelievable. I was there almost in MotoGP in Malaysia, in one of my favorite tracks. It was really good, and you know very well, you know, I won the last race, Chat won the last, I don't know, a lot
Actually,
of six races, and now we are really in a good situation. I'm really happy and proud to be part
of it. And another one for Chas. And let's talk about next year. Actually, Qatar was very relevant for me, also because last year we were struggling, and there is a very expectation for next year, also considering that you will have a world champion teaming with you, Marco Melandri, and so the team will be, if possible, even stronger. But
next year, as you said about Qatar, I think that proves how much we've improved in the last 12 months between myself and the team. The bike now, we're every bit a match, if not even better than our competitors in a straight line. So I'm really happy about that, because it's finally that's leading towards these victories. So that gives me a lot of confidence. 2017, I think I couldn't be going into really feel like we can take more steps this winter to get the last tenths from the Panigale to challenge again for the championship next year. And alongside me, I'll have Marco Melandri, and I've been teammates with Marco before 2000, because he's got a lot of experience. He's very fast. And I think this will be really positive for developing the bike and taking the last steps to fight for the World Championship. But I stand here very excited.
Okay. Big us and pushing the whole development group to do even more and even better. And the next one for Dovi, it's the same for next year. Again, we are one race to go. So Gigi Dall'Igna, keeps pushing join the team next year, and it will be kind of heavy presence because of being a three-time world champion. What's your sensation? What kind of you feel?
Well, I'm so happy we couldn't finish the championship in the championship. Now we are fifth, so I'm really happy about the work we did during the season, and for next year, with the arrival of Jorge, really a big champion, is a good things for Ducati, and I really go to MotoGP, but we want to fight for the championship, and we would like to start next year to fight for that.
Okay, so actually someone told me, and I hope that it is that you are the champion, the most of the points. So that's
not bad.
Not bad, not too bad. So thank you so much, Dovi, and keep pushing, and thank you so much. Grazie. So hashtag Forza Ducati. We are very accustomed. We have the Ducati brand, which is red, and from 2015 we have count how many motorcycles we have sold in 2 years. It's kind of impressive, because almost 30,000 motorcycles in 2 years in a product that was not existing before, and is based on a set of value which is very different from the Ducati standard value, make us very much understanding that we have a very clear value in hand, and that we need to make that value to grow. And with the SCRAMBLER family. And for this year, we want to present 2 enlargements of this product portfolio. The first one on transportation classic value, maybe in a bit more sporty form. Let's see it. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ducati Scrambler Cafe Racer. Cafe Racer, in which people were taking just conventional motorcycle and changing some component in a kind of artisanal style to adapt them to a more fast and speedy use. And so, typical clip-on underbar, sporty tire, more sporty suspension. And that is a more sporty feeling. This bike is a real cafe racer. So it was not only a change in paintings. So you start from the chassis of the bike, which have been changed to adapt a 17-inch front wheel. 17-inch front wheel is coupled with sport tire that are different from the standard scrambler, that are kind of on-off-road, that are the clip-on underbar, and all the feeling and all the fittage of a typical cafe racer. Of course, being sold from 2017, all the bikes that we'll see, and also the Scrambler, are compliant with the Euro 4 homologation. There are a number of details that I require you to look both in the web or for the journalists that will come in the stand from tomorrow, like the fin of the cylinder that are brushed, and so you find the black cylinder with the brushed fin. Or, for example, the radial brake master cylinder, which is a touch in order to show how much was the level of attention to detail in order to make a proper and real cafe racer. And the second expansion of the model range, we call it of more kind of enduro looking and not real professional off-road capability. So with this in mind, we thought that could have
Return to the Mac. Get up what it is, what it does, what it is, what it isn't. Looking for a better way to moonwalk. And this here is our party. My posse's been on Broadway, and we did it all. Like let that stage light go and shine on down. We go back. This is the moment. Tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over. So we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. And hold our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us.
So ladies, it's a kind of a movement that comes from the past and started in the US as many movements and was based on the idea of taking bikes built for different purposes and changing. And again, this was exactly what we did with the Desert Sled, starting from the Scrambler. The exercise here was a bit more complex because this you need to change many components. And when we see the component that we have changed, we have a new swinging arm, we have a dedicated seat, but especially this motorcycle is a real off-road capable motorcycle. So it has a long travel suspension, both front and rear, that are fully adjustable, have spoked wheel, and have a new, completely designed, stop a while, stop. Okay, you show here. So the tires of the motorcycle have been designed specifically for this motorcycle. We reinforced the complete frame. So the motorcycle is capable of doing exactly everything you've seen in the video. So just post your question on Facebook and all the other social media channels, and you will get an answer during the event. So, the scrum on the white for the classic bike, and we added the gray on the icon, plus we have the two new motorcycles that we have seen. The Cafe Racer, which is one color only, the black and gold we have seen, and the two colors for the Desert Sled, white and the red. So it's very clear, and it's more clear that from the brand Ducati. And when we talk about Ducati, immediately we consider red. The red is this in mind. We start entering the product that are new for 2017 on the Ducati brand. Actually, I remind one product which is completely new for 2017, but is not a show. And this product is what we will see in the video now. That we had in mind when considering which type of sports bike we had in the model range up to now. When we consider 959 or the 1290, which is fast riding on a normal road during weekends. But we wanted to develop a product that it was good also for everyday commuting, as normal riding in the city, for a weekend, but have the same gene, is the same sportive DNA of a peculiar, sits in a far more relaxed position than in a conventional superbike. The seat 8, it's in a position that can be reached and made possible also for people that are not very tall, and so the bike is accessible and comfortable. The bike is available on a standard version and as front and rear, and the electronic gear shifter, because on the S is standard, the DQS, so Ducati Quick Shift, that make possible to change without using the shifting in the Ducati range was present only on the 1299 Panigale. For starting, the World Premiere also another developed together with the brand Diesel, and will be a special version of the Diavel. So we are working together, as we did for the Monster some years ago, in develop a very special finished Diavel version that will be shown here in Milan. So we are actually to enter into the presentation of the new Ducati of this evening. We will present 4 new Ducati. The first one, if it was kind of considered as an image, is kind of a Swiss Army knife. Characteristic. So when one rider or one customer have to decide why bike only, this may be the is based on a concept of versatility and accessibility. The multistrada we already developed, coupled with a fantastic power plant, which is a a straight 11-degree engine, 937 cubic inch. Because it has a very interesting level of horsepower, more than 110, with a very flat torque curve. More than 80% of the torque is available between 3,500 RPM and 9,500 RPM. So it's very smooth and can be ridden with pleasure at any RPM. As we'll see, we have added on this combination of power plant and chassis a number of features that makes the bike very much available to very different use, on and off-road. We have equipped the bike with the 19-inch front wheel, adjustable front and rear shock, and the 19-inch front wheel has the intent, as with other options that have been chosen, to give a more broader possibility to go also off-road. Have been made the same with the seat, that when you look in detail, have the same shape as of the Multistrada Enduro. So give the possibility to the rider to move back and forth when riding, staying still on the motorcycle, when riding off-road. The rear side of the grab handle has been shaped in order to make the possibility to fit back Enduro. And also a number of other components are very clear orientation in order to make the way spoked wheel. When seen from the rider perspective, the bike looks different, for example, for the switches that have been completely redesigned and are specifically started from this model. And there are also components taken from the Enduro, like the stem of the mirror, that are aluminum in order to be stronger. Of course, this motorcycle have the 4 riding modes: more sporty, more touring, more enduro, or more urban. When we see on my back, there are a number of characteristics that take the motorcycle really different from the current Multistrada and more wide in terms of approach and in terms of possibility even to ride off-road. In order to show that, we even configured what we called an Enduro Pro configuration, in which putting together all the accessories that already are available on our catalog, you immediately get, starting from this bike, a very competent off-road motorcycle. Spoked wheel, knobbed tire, titanium silencer, radiator protection, get from the bike immediately an image which is very strong in terms of looking, and also very competent when you take the motorcycle off-road. And in terms of load, everything has been kind of calculated and tested in order to reach that, like the rear side's double swinging arm and the frame and so on and so forth. This motorcycle, of course, enjoy many different and very nice places, as typically we have also here in Italy and Europe. So let's see the motorcycle in action. When products that can make you this kind of experience. You are in the world, in a world of beauty, you have a 360-degree experience because you feel 5 senses, so you feel the whole world. And actually this video, in my opinion, shows really how much you can, in a relaxed way, enjoy what you have around and enjoy motorcycling. So that was just my thought. But let's move to the next product. Kind of 15 years ago or so, that was saying how many bikes can you tell apart without reading the brand of the motorcycle on the fuel tank. Someone of you may remember that, and that is because together with sporty attitude. This motorcycle is a Ducati Monster, and we will want to show you the last edition of this Monster. And this is the new Ducati Monster 1200S, and it's a new edition because we changed so many components from the standard one that actually to get back from the very original concept of Monster, part of the sporty feeling, part of this, to kind of make a sign in this coming back to its root, we even put as a fixing point of the tank, as you see on the image on my shoulder, a kind of, with this in mind, we can say that the new bike have been updated in design. Every component you see is new. Fuel tank, seat, headlight, everything is new. It's new proportion because everything is smaller, as we'll see. It's an evolved engine, which is improved over the current one, and it's a full developed electronic. So it's a full package that makes just more Monster and just better because it's been updated on every component. Just a few details on the compact, quicker handling, but we wanted to make it to look smaller when looking at that. And so when you look from the rear seat are visibly smaller than the current Monster. The heart of the motorcycle is the 1211 degrees in this best form, 150 horsepower, and almost 13 kilograms of torque. And even more important on this number is that the torque is available above 10 kilograms from 3,000 to 10,000 RPM. So again, a very flat torque curve in order to enjoy the typical two-cylinder behavior. The 150 horsepower means 15 horsepower more. A very important feature, it's also the quick shift that for the first time will be landing on the Monster area. So the Monster 1200 will be equipped with the quick shift, even if on standard will be not a standard equipment. The headlight, as we have seen, is new, completely redesigned, and also the color display. It's a completely updated panel. So it's an updated panel, which is very nice and very modern, but also report a higher number of information. For example, the gear indicator was not present and now it is, and also the fuel level indicator is present on the new panel. So not only the graphics is more modern, but also it provides a higher and more complete set of information. Single-sided swinging arm is very Ducati, and the short back is in its best form here because the bike is equipped with the cornering ABS. Most of you that tested the difference between a standard ABS and cornering ABS can tell how big is the difference in terms of safety. As we will see in a while, safety icon of our brand, which is the Monster, the highest level of possible safety. So the bike is equipped with the IMU, the inertia measurement units, that can measure on the bike the leaning angle. It's an expensive sensor, but make possible for the ABS to change the setting while with the bike fully leaned and you have a very hard pull of the brake. With the cornering ABS, you feel safe, and of course the physics will not change. So the bike will run a bit wide, but will not. Over the current model, this Monster features separated foot pegs for passenger and for the rider, and it features the high-mounted number plate for a more sporty-oriented looking. When we see how But the bike we see here is not the Monster Standard, that are all the features that we have described so far, but it's a Monster S. The Monster S is a typical S Ducati, different mainly in high quality component in this motorcycle, but as often is the case, also the braking system has a strong update. In this case, the front brake is 130mm disc with the M50 Brembo caliper that makes it the strongest braking system available on two wheels. So again, Ducati is distinguishing by offering its customer the best possible braking system. Also, the wheels are different on the S because are Y shapes and there's a different graphics. And is a picture that make the bike recognized from the front in a very distinguished way. And here, there is a recap of all the features on the S model. As a color palette, the S will be available on red and gray, and the standard will be available on red. So, having said that, this is a technical description of the bike, and it's the time to see the bike, how it's shown in action. Show the last two Ducati, but I was there, they showed me a message here, I hope I didn't get wrong, but they told me that we are together. This incredible event, so 1,000 the first year, last year was 100,000, and this year so far there are 400,000, which is huge and incredible. So I'm really very proud. And I really hope that the show will be a good show for all of you. So we wanted to take the occasion not only to talk about product, but to talk about the company. Consider how was Ducati 10 years ago and how is Ducati today. I will take you very quickly, and still is sophistication, the way we try to solve the technical equation, we try also and always to make in a different guide to the rider that were here, what more than what we've done last Sunday can say and say that Ducati is about performance. Ducati used to be performance, Ducati is performance, Ducati will be. And we have a huge community around. We have the events, the races, the clubs, and I want again to take the occasion to say and to give a big applause to all the clubs that are around, because for sure, a lot of the 400,000 people are part of our clubs, and it's part of the reason that we are so strongly committed to this brand. We have the apparel, we have the access into the company. Some kind of new is the Scrambler that was not present before 2015. So it's a brand new experience, a brand new product that, as we have seen, is not a product, but a different set of value. It's not just style, sophistication, performance. It's just different. It's youthful, it's free spirit, it's positive, it's self-expression. It's about a more accessible way to enter motorcycling. It's about freedom. It's not just a lot technical oriented. There are two wheels, a fuel tank in many different speed, excitement. Kind of enjoy the motorcycle, even not being fast, which is kind of completely on the other side about the typical Ducati brand value. So we added that. So Ducati is not only what we have seen, the red, it's the yellow, it's a black, and the Enduro Pro configuration. So Ducati is more and more also off the normal road. But this is still product. We want to tell you something more about the value that are into the brand, very solid now, which are not very often talked about. There is a lot of intention, longer, how to get a less expensive service interval. We made a lot already, because when we look back 15 years ago, service interval was something kind of 10,000 kilometers, and now we are on the best model like the Multistrada, which are value that not very often were put together with the Ducati brand. It was a motorcycle. A lot of what you see on my back, which is the kind of the technological roadmap of development, have to do with safety. A lot of what you know, but I'm sure that not all of you know that we packaged all together most of that on a product, which is the Multistrada DR, which is probably the motorcycle that on the road has the most comprehensive package in terms of safety, because it put together the DR, which is a system that is talking and dialoguing directly with the motorcycle. So you wear the jacket and the motorcycle is equipped with sensor on the motorcycle that detect when there is a kind of a crash before, and very much understood from most of the people. And still it's very difficult to sell this product. But we keep doing and we keep investing on that because actually we think that safety and the company and the motorcycling for the future. The bike is of course equipped with ABS in cornering stage, so the best one is equipped with wheelie control and traction control, but is equipped also with cornering light that are very effective and help every time there is a corner which is more than 90 degrees to have a better view on the side of the corner. So, safety, which is a pre-owned certified program on which you can get Ducati brand more accessible. Often people consider our bike to be too expensive, and so we are also offering a more entry bike, but even the pre-owned program is very important because you can buy a pre-owned Ducati, maybe 2 or 3 years old, with a lower price, but now with Ducati approved, with the same level of certification and the same level of trust that you have on a new bike. Because every bike, to get the stamp of Ducati approved, will have to go through a more than 30 points of sure that the bike is a good bike, and the bike will have the 2-year warranty. And so you can buy into a used Ducati with the same level of trust you buy into a new Ducati. And so this is brand new for it's not only sport product, but it's much more. So when we make the value map of the company, now makes a much broader and complex system, but will offer, of course, a much wider platform for the company to grow and to offer more exciting product and more exciting future. In a nutshell, more than red, evolution never stops. So, second to last product, which is super important for us because it's and have to be something on which to have fun. What we call an entry door. We want to have again, like we had in the past, a product that makes possible for younger people to enter in our world, and not only through the SCRAMBLER brand, but entering through the sport side of the brand, which is a typical red Ducati. This is an unmistakable monster in terms of size and proportion, and it's based on the air-cooled 800cc engine. In the format with 75 horsepower, is more than enough for everyone that wants actually to join the motorcycle community with a sporty product which is not too aggressive and will not be too intimidating. The seat 8, it's at the right level actually for all sides of person in order to touch ground in a comfortable way, and also the weight of the motorcycle is in term that make possible to access the motorcycle without being really an expert. So for everyone that wants to begin with motorcycle with a product which is not second in terms of appearance and is not second in terms of sportiness, the Ducati Monster 797 is proposed. The brother that we just shown, like the front headlight or the fuel tank, are exactly the same component. The bike will be available in red, white, and in dark stealth. It's available also in a plus version, as we used to have with our Monster 696, that feature a kind of the tail cover and a small cupolino in the front in order to be a more sportier version. We call it plus. And as a recap, we have all the characteristics of the product. See the bike. So let's say this evening. I think most of you know that we have a very special motorcycle to introduce and to explain. And in the room, there are all people that are passionate about motorcycle. And when you explain and you introduce a product like this, guys, so sounds too much. But I was talking with one colleague of you, and actually was no rival. In terms of weight, is kind of moving. In terms of electronics, it's moving the boundary in terms of what so far was only possible for our friend Dovi and Chas. And so when the lucky customer will be brave enough to test it, they will feel exactly the same feeling and sensation. So let's have fun. That's a rolling chassis of something that I'm not sure that everyone thought it was possible. It's a rolling chassis of the motorcycle in which every component is taking motorcycle, the swinging arm, the wheel, the rear subframe is a full composite structure, vulgarly called the carbon frame. It's a bike on which the engine is just the most powerful production twin-cylinder ever, and it will remain for a very long time. It's a motorcycle based on taking the biggest board that we had available and trimming it to the most extreme racing trim. So 2 rings piston, fully machined from the billet, butterfly, from the throttle body, and all these kind of insane things that race engineers normally do on the engines. That deliver the number of 215 horsepower for this engine, which, by the way, will be reached in fully Euro 4 compliant form. So this bike will be a fully street legal motorcycle. As we have seen, all the structural parts are carbon fiber, and let's see them one by one in a while. The frame weighs 2.6 kilos. So that's the frame of the motorcycle, actually. There is now into this lighter than the corresponding aluminum structure. The rear swinging arm, it's 4.1 kilos, which is almost 1 kilo lighter than the aluminum swinging arm, or the carbon wheels that when you pack together are 1.4 kilos lighter than the forged aluminum one. Or the rear subframe that weighs altogether 0.9 kilos, so it's less than 1 kilo. When we check all the extreme part of the motorcycle, also the front fork has been lighted, and there are lighter rear shock, and also the brake pads have been improved. Talking again about technology, the most important one is about a completely developed electronic. And with this picture, which actually shows the real super has been evolved to a next level. And especially the adding is about the slide control. So the rider will be able to tune spin and slide, the two brothers, spin and slide as we call it, in a different time, control the slide or not the spin. And this is typical how the most evolved system do in MotoGP, or they did in MotoGP before the changing of the rule. So in some cases, traction up to last year. The bike is equipped with power launch for the first time for a Ducati Superbike, and on the racetrack, this cornering ABS will be very relevant. And the cornering ABS Superleggera set a new standard for our sports bike because of even with the norm was difficult to make it work when the bike was actually fully leaned. While now we are able to do, and for the first time the release is in the Superleggera. So in a nutshell, it's the most powerful twin cylinder ever. It's Euro 4 compliant. It's the first ever production motorcycle with full structure, and it's a pinnacle of available electronic technology. I think it's time to see the bike. A special rider, a special guest for this bike. Say a big hug to Casey Stoner, man. Actually, that, you know, it's our newest baby, and it's a bike on which we put really all our feeling, our stomach, our heart, our passion, and to talk a bit more about this year, because actually, we don't want to talk only about 2007. Actually, you were on the bike on MotoGP this year, so it was a kind of a very nice... I want to think that you've been able to contribute positively on that, but what's your sensation about the development of this year?
It's been fantastic. My renewal with Ducati for this year has just been very from the first that just the group of people, everybody that we're working with, everybody has just put in so much effort, and that's why we've got the results this year. You know, we've maybe struggled a little bit in recent years, all this effort. So the advancements we made throughout the year, I think, has shown, and both Andrea's, but in particularly Andrea Dovizioso, I think showing what we can do in the future.
So that's very promising, but let's talk about the Superleggera. You have seen the presentation. You've seen that we take back the carbon fiber structure that was so much for
Well, talk with and it's incredible. You know, the weight saving, as you know, is a huge thing, especially for these big, powerful bikes that have inertia. Sometimes they're heavier to change direction, and this had the difference is that we can't get this on a race bike, and you can get them on a bike like this. So I think those things alone are going to make huge differences, and something I'm really trying.
Thank you. And the process of sale has begun. So we already are near completion of the order our best customer a kind of very special present in order to collect the most interesting and possibly the bike that will make the history of motorcycling. Some more detail. The bike is full carbon fiber bodywork, of course, and let's talk about weight. The bike is a bike for the US market, which has the silencer under the pannier because it's not to cope with the Euro 4 homologation. So this is the reason why there is a little weight difference between the US and the Europe version. But with the racing kit, both of them using on his superbike, and it got down to 162 kilos. Let's talk a while about the racing kit. With the racing kit, horsepower moved to 220, and the weight goes down to 162, getting the incredible power-to-weight ratio to 1.36, which is very difficult or impossible to find in any other motorcycle you actually can buy. There is a technical apparel, and this apparel can be personalized. And on top of that, we thought to make a very special present to everyone that will buy into this fantastic project, which is to have as a gift a full STR instead of a track like in which bike and be together. You have the possibility of factor. That's why let's thank you very much for staying with us. This is all the 2017 new model range for Ducati. Thank you, all the people that are staying with us, the more than 400,000 that have been working and made this possible. And thank you, and see you at next Ducati World Premiere. Thank you so much.